Hello and welcome to another episode of the Mark Rose podcast. Oh man, politics, right? Like we're deep in the soup of it. Whether you're in Canada, the US, or anywhere, but especially the US, we're in it. Politics are messing up relationships. They are screwing up connections. They are really all up in the fuckery. Are they not? And look, before I jump in, hit the like button on this video, get it into more people's eyes, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any from the channel, and the notifications so when you know when new videos come up. All right. My message of today is just, it feels like it's more important now than ever, which is that you can still love somebody who votes differently than you. I know this sounds like a preposterous suggestion for some people, but here's the thing. I'm 45. And in the 45 years that I've been alive, I've never witnessed this level of intolerance for difference, for ideological and political difference. This, of course, is being leveraged by the political parties. We are actually getting captured by their bullshit when this happens. Like when I was growing up, if you had an aunt, uncle, relative who voted for someone different, they were a little bit batty, you kind of laughed after Christmas dinner, or yeah, the family talked about it like that guy's got some stuff going on. But that diverse thought and the crazy conversations you would get into where people would disagree around dinner tables is and was imperative to opening our minds to other ways of seeing, that we would compassionately eat dinner with these people that we probably normally wouldn't have sat down and had dinner with, right? Because we like to stay in our safe ideological bubbles. But it was actually having a really profound impact on the way that we engaged with ideas, because we couldn't just create these echo chambers of ideas like has just happened on social media due to algorithms, that our ideas just get amplified and affirmed and the opposing idea just gets villainized and villainized. Like if you've ever tried following political accounts that you disagree with, you'll get perspectives that will often get you a little upset, so you're like, unfollow, right? Because you don't want to be exposed to it. And I understand that. From a mental health perspective, I just kind of look at it and I go, man, like the political parties would like us to believe that it is an impossibility to be friends with or close with people who vote for the opposing party. Now, of course, this is something they desire us to buy into, because belonging and exile are two of the most powerful forces for behavioral modulation. So if you want to change behavior, just leverage belonging and leverage the threat of not belonging. So if you do not agree with me, if you don't see the world the exact same way, if you don't vote for the same person, because we've now even taken who we vote for and turned it into a moral thing, right? And I really think this was born in 2016 in the US, especially, that you started to see this moralization. Like, if you're voting for Trump, then you are, I can't believe you. But more than 50% of people did, or however it worked out, electoral colleges, all the stuff you guys got in the States. But we started to see this in Canada, and look, like, no matter which political party it is, they're all saying that if the other one gets in, the world is over, communism, fascism, dystopia, blah, blah, blah. And again, I'm not here to argue which party is more likely to bring us there. I'm just pointing out that they're both using the exact same frickin' playbook. That it doesn't matter where you are. It's like, if you vote for them, that is the next Nazi Germany. If you vote for them, that's the next. I do have to say that a bit of a mindfuck that I do have is that I look at what now identifies as like more the far left, and I'm like, oh, the left used to be all about like freedom and a lack of censorship. And now it's about censorship and it's about big companies, where it used to be not about that. So you are seeing this kind of switch or flip that's happening in the wings, which is really fascinating. And the other thing is that no matter which wing you might identify on, both extremes of them become the exact same thing, right? Like they both demonstrate incredible intolerance. And so it's funny, in horseshoe politics theory, how like they just end up becoming the same. And so are we really, we could just argue, is like, is the political system even worth arguing about? Right? Like it's just a fucking charade. It's just a show. We all know that these people are connected, and companies get contracts through this. This is how it works. And they start winning when we stop loving one another. They start winning when our communities and our families get divided. And so I think now more than ever, this thought that you can love somebody who votes differently than you is such an important thought to embody. That if you have a hard time sitting with someone who votes for the other candidate, that is actually personal work for us. I think there has been such a powerful moralizing, especially of the left, that the left is more moral. If you vote left, you're more moral, you're more ideological, you're more values based. And if you're right, you're not. And of course, the right has its ideas about the left, right? Woke, sheep, all the different language that dehumanizes, all of it is dehumanizing language. And so we have to always check in where our own perspective is being moralized. And it's easy for all of us to do it. I can do it. It's easy for all of us to do it, that we start to get protective of our perspective and we don't humanize the other person because it means we have to open to curiosity. And so I think now more than ever, this conversation of like, how do I cut off people whose perspectives make me feel uncomfortable? Now, of course, the response to this is, well, I don't want to hang out with racist, misogynistic, blah, blah, blah language. And it's like, of course, no one's asking you to do that. But not everybody who votes in a different perspective than yours is those things. It's just what we've thrown them into this bubble because it's easier to dismiss them, dehumanize them, and remove the connection to love, openness, and curiosity. If politicians didn't exist and we weren't even dealing with this system, would we have stopped talking to so many people? I mean, I look at the relational destruction that's happened in the last 8, 10 years purely because of politics and ideology, and it's bananas. And it's exactly what the propaganda machines are meant to do. And so us as humans have to fight that. We have to fight our urge to want to really cling to our identities. We have to fight the urge when we get enraged about something. We have to fight the urge to stay enraged. We have to get back into our hearts. And I know that this is no matter what happens in US politics, which of course influences all the rest of the world. And I'm Canadian, and there's lots happening in Canadian politics. And that, of course, influences so many things for me too, that we can actually learn to still treat each other with respect, learn to treat each other with curiosity. And how do we actually come back together? How do we actually unify? How do we repair what's going on? What's wild to me is that politics, corporations, media, they all benefit from us being more divided. They all benefit from us being more enraged. And it's us who individually have to take our power back. We create the ripples within our families and our communities and our cultures. And that's the work. It starts here. So no matter where this finds you today, I hope it finds you with some sense of peace and a reminder that everything's going to be okay. You will be loved and others can be loved just for what they believe as they are. Much love.